Peace. You now tuned in live to Super Heru Radio. I'm your host, Heru, along with my co-host, something like an empress of 10,000 years, Father outside, all of you, human families of the planet Earth, all of the ancestors tuning in from the greater Arcturus region of the high altitude, or what they call the sublime realms. Inshallah, we all could reach there and be there one day. Before I start, I want to thank, tomorrow is going to be Pascal Beverly Randolph's birthday. So, peace to our brother Pascal for his birthday. Today is our anniversary, myself and the Queen. It's been 14 years. I want to thank Allah and the Creator for all that has befallen us in all of these years being together, and I really appreciate the time that I've gotten to learn who my Queen is and what her purpose is. And in learning about those things, it gives me greater insight into myself. So I definitely want to say thanks to her for producing and doing all the wonderful things that she's done, not only for me as her husband, but just for everybody that has come to know her. You know what I'm saying? It's really, she's one of those unsung heroes that unfortunately, has gone through things where people have put her in situations that she doesn't need to be, based upon her trying to help. And anybody who knows Selena knows exactly how and what I mean by when I say that. So I definitely want to give thanks and praise to her for continuing to be a shining light for me and helping keeping me where I need to be in terms of the things that need to be done. Because for real, things are definitely moving at rapid fire rates right now. So we definitely all want to have and need all the support we can, you know what I'm saying, during these trying times. So I definitely want to say yes. So, with that, definitely love and light. Also, anyone who's lost any ancestors or relatives recently due to whatever circumstance, we definitely want to say, condolences, as well as the people who have been going through the ritualistic Washington hazings, the sister who was murdered, shot in front of her child. Nobody still don't know where the child is, and as well as that brother who allegedly jumped up and started popping off at the police, another brother at the Navy Yard. So I'm seeing this whole thing where we're reaching this pseudo level where they're trying to paint you and I and members of their society as, what do you call these things now, as terrorists, as they themselves are moving further into the terror dome, which is the physical representation of the Tetragrammaton. But what is happening also is the redistribution of public perception in terms of a unified front, meaning that they need to consolidate, or they want to consolidate people around a certain idea. But I just tweeted one out about that. Yeah. It becomes a manifestation of what it is the agenda is. And the agenda overall is total destabilization of any social geopolitical order that is not in conjunction with the corporatized politics of the totalitarian United States, not as a regime, but as a corporatocracy, which is really turned into a technocracy that thrives on surveillance. So the crashing of the government is in conjunction with this new pseudo-Obamacare thing that is the opening for the beast. one of the tenets in the Obamacare thing is the new euthanasia program. You know, a lot of people are up in arms about that. They don't feel that people should urge their elderly to euthanize themselves as opposed to take hospice or care. These are some of the things that's in it. Another thing in it is another form of the BEAST program.
Free will is not so free in the sense that in order for you to exert it, you have to have something to exert it over or from. So if there is such a thing as free will, then that free will is dependent upon the choice that you freely make that derives from your will to decide what you're going to participate or not participate in anyway. But in that, it's like
the term sovereignty. In order to prove that one is sovereign, this is why people call themselves sovereign and deal with the sovereign movement or sovereign citizens, whatever that is. In order to have sovereignty, one has to have an authority to exert that sovereignty to. Therefore, one is not totally sovereign. Nobody on earth is totally sovereign. Nobody that got a body that's born out of a womb is totally sovereign unto themselves. I don't give a damn how much they know, how much they've studied or whatever, because I haven't met one person in the physical reality that exists here that doesn't need to breathe. So if everybody is subject to the breath, then the breath is the aspect, or the breath then makes everyone subject. So it is the breath of life that allows life to function. That breath is a manifestation. Time. Therefore, it does not need any physical description because it is eternally within itself. It's something that is not coalesced or condensed into a finite idea. Therefore, it is something that is so immutable and so ultra perpetual that there's never been a time that anybody can say that there was not. So even in a time where people say that they atheists, people say, okay, I don't believe in no God. I don't think, I believe that, like Morgan Freeman and these boo ladies, they talk about, oh, well, I think man created God, or, God created, man created the idea of God and then used that to enslave other men. Like, that's cool living in a post, World War II culture where everything was reconstructed to make it seem like every empire and every government in the world was just as corrupt as the Western European governments. So the white man had to come in and lock us all down and then give us Jesus and the Bible and then make us believe that, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. This, if I didn't bring y'all niggas this, y'all wouldn't have no civilization.
They hype these people up on fear so much in their training that only thing they react to is the fear within themselves. So they don't even really even pick up on the fear of other people. They don't even care. So hindsight says, hey, shoot the tires. Let's find out what this chick was talking about. No. The new motto is shoot first, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. That's what we're going to do. And then what do we do to justify the fact? Oh, automatically. Oh, well, it can't be the police, right? Well, it's the fact that she was mentally ill. You see how there's always a reason to kill niggas? There's always a justification somehow. Everybody in the world.
People who make a certain amount of money a year. The perpetual misuse of cultural identity has become people's cultural identity. There was a brother, well, I won't call him a brother, I don't know him, but there was a melanated young man who allegedly shot and killed these two police. So this man now is sentenced to death or whatever, death row, whatever. But, no, I'm sorry, this is a different dude. This is the actual article. The guy's name is Ron Wilson. And basically Ron Wilson wants to see his child. He had a tryst with a CO on the job, who's on the job. She get pregnant. She having his baby. He on death row for killing two police. She about to do 16 months for having sex with him and having his baby. So now, he is now trying to petition to get his family to at least see and have a relationship with the baby. The judge in them said, and I quote, let's see. Wilson began his petition while incarcerated and was therefore civilly dead. Meaning that when you are incarcerated or going through the criminal procedure in any way, fashion, or form, you are considered civilly dead by the state, or what's called civilitas mortis. So his petition was denied because he himself, again, was civilly dead. The reason why he was civilly dead was because he was in conjunction with the state. Meaning he was state property, which is funny because it's on TV right now. It's just crazy, man.
themselves. To be human means that you got to deal with people and places and things, creating situations for you to always have to explain and for you to always have to feel like you got to conform and things like that. That's not real life. That's not a life for real people. That's not a thing that people signed up. Their own morality that anybody that's connected to them in terms of citizenry is then put outside of being a human. You are now going from a human being to a human capital. So whenever you talk about laws from your
But to do that, they have to become traitors of their own nation first, which is why George and them decided to get them back. But the people in charge of these decisions, and these people are not people like Washington and them, because, again, he was a general. He was appointed. Somebody put him in place to carry out orders. Therefore, if he was
a soldier or somebody above him, put in that perspective, that now puts them in a higher bracket of understanding, because now we see him in the position that he was in. He may have been president of the colonies and general of the colonial armies, right?
But again, he was a general appointed by the national or general government, which was us at that time in that position, therefore carrying out the stratagem and everything that was laid out for him to do. Therefore, let's call it what it is. He was somebody who was following orders. And whatever he may have wanted to do or they were involved in outside of that in terms of the occult aspect of their lives and what the occult meant to those people back then and how it was a means to transfer knowledge that they were forbidden to get in a Protestant Church of England setting. This gave them greater insight as it was produced and given to them in the form of parables. Using the movie itself as evidence that, you know, there was all of these different people connected with the murder of this person. Yet, just as there's that conspiracy, there's a conspiracy that once the theater of him being shot like that and all of that going down, they're saying that he actually, there's a conspiracy that says that JFK is actually, what's his name, Jimmy Carter, you know.
and then went into the horrors that they're reporting from what they call AFRICOM. So right on time to give a fluff piece and to give them more of an idea of how they doing and make it look good, they're coming out with Captain Phillip with your man Tom Hanks, where we're fighting the Somali pirates now, where, you know, they got to send the Navy SEAL Team 6 or whoever in to go and
other side of where you thought you was at. So these pilots was put in work, really, and these European people were paying them. And you know what? They stopped dumping nuclear waste on the beaches in Somalia. They ain't been doing that. So again, this is causing a lot of the waste now to be backed up in Europe. Understand? That's not cool.
Well, Europe is supposed to be the place where everybody goes to, you know, get their stuff right and get their culture straight or whatever, because that's the whole thing. Just like America is supposed to be a place where, you know, you can come here and give up your nationality and get money. And that's true. However, now with everybody that's getting killed and everybody that's out there, they're creating a pseudo-reality around the actual operation of them using Africa as the battleground against the Chinese. This is an attack against China. This attack in Somalia, this attack in Libya, this is about China. This is about prepping up the zone so that way they could
But if the Avatarians was brown, right, or dark black instead of blue, a lot of people wouldn't have been feeling it, because then people would have looked at it as an indictment, which is exactly what it was. But because they blue, white people now can put blue paint on, you see what I'm saying, and feel like they're not the bad guys in the movie. When all during the 80s, all they
fed us was Rambo and 18 and Miami Vice and all of this heavy testosterone, Terminator, and all this other shit to go out there and kill Russians, right? That's what they was pumping us up for. But then after 2000s, it went from Russians to the computers crashing, and then they stopped talking to you about the Russians for a while. And then it was all about Iraq. So the Arabs is worse. The people call themselves Arabs, refer to themselves Arabs, a lot of them in Africa during the Libya campaign and all of that. These are the ones that's killing all the black people, crucifying them and all of that. And remember, Gaddafi was black. and that was trying to do that they basically said that he was civilis mortis. It said that Wilson began his petition while incarcerated and was therefore civilly dead and should be treated as if he were actually dead. This is from Suffolk County, right? Family court judge. The judge's name was this is some ill German. It's Frunzlich. Found, right? Now, Suffolk County, that's up in the East Coast, right? Upper East Coast, that's like New England. So that means that this is Britain now cashing in on the barn or whatever in terms of the title, right? So what this then means is that they are using the Sesquive v. Act of 1666, chapter But think about that. This is a study now of original people here in North and South Carolina, which ancient times was connected to our Atlantis, right? And is the so-called Maghreb. So they have now said, by this study, shown and proved what Moors and the Moor Science Temple been saying for however many years, about 100 years now, that the original man was always here, and that specifically in places like North Carolina or whatever, you can trace the descent of the male line of the family between father and son based on the domicile of origin coming out of the Milky Way or the penile organ of the man put then into the domicile of habitation, which can or became migration once the woman was separated from the man. And then the line of the child then began or begets from the woman as opposed to the man. So there's only one side of the family that's genetic structure that's activated in the child, which then creates based on that study alone, it showed and proved that you existed here longer than there was a here. And the you that they talk about is the you from the Maghreb, which is northwest, southwest Africa, not the boundary line in what we call Ethiopia, in what we now today call Africa, not over there where they found Lucy, right? So they found the woman lineage over there and they found the man lineage over here. So in that would mean that if you, an individual, exist today, you have on your mother's side a grandfather and a grandmother.
As clear as I can into the phone. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, it's not me. Okay. Of African Americans, Y chromosomes, meaning from the father, as a comparison, as in comparison of the differences between the mystery of the genetic signature and the previously known signatures that led the team to conclude that most recent common ancestor for the entire group lived about 338,000 years ago. So the common